We all know that Kim Jong Un rules North Korea with an iron fist, and that means his wife is also totally under his control. You might think that being aligned with Kim Jong Un guarantees her an easy life, but that's far from the reality. We'll tell you about some of the strict rules he forces his wife to follow. Before we take you inside the life of Ri Sol-ju, make sure you subscribe to the taco. Now, let's get started. Name change. It's considered pretty normal for a woman to take her husband's last name when they marry, although many choose not to for personal reasons. It's not surprising that Ri Sol-ju had to change her name when she married Kim Jong Un. What is surprising is that she changed her entire name. That's right, she wasn't born Ri Sol-ju, and in fact, nobody knows what her original name even was. The North Korean government is incredibly secretive about her, and they don't want anyone knowing anything about her past life before marriage. Citizens of North Korea don't know her real name or even when she was born. She's been married to Kim Jong Un for over a decade now, and has been treated with the utmost secrecy, considering the fact that in most other places in the world, we know everything about our leaders and their families. Rumor has it that Ri Sol-ju was born into an elite family. Supposedly her father was a professor and her mother was a doctor, but that's all we know about her early life. Pregnancies. Ri Sol-ju is hidden from the public eye as much as humanly possible, and she isn't allowed to be seen while she's pregnant. It's a strict rule to follow, and many believe that it's just an excuse in order to keep her isolated. In fact, when she hasn't been seen for months, the public started to worry that perhaps something horrible had happened to her. Thankfully, it turns out that it was just that Ri Sol-ju was pregnant, and thus required to stay hidden from the public. It's sort of bizarre that when people don't see her for a few months, they are forced to assume she's either met a horrible end or she's just going to have a baby. And if you thought that Ri Sol-ju was kept hidden, that's nothing compared to her children. In fact, our best source of information about Kim Jong Un's children has been basketball player Dennis Rodman. He visited North Korea in 2013 and met with Kim Jong Un. Rodman reported that Ri Sol-ju had given birth to a daughter named Ju-ae. As for the couple's other children, we think there are two others besides Ju-ae. Nobody knows for sure how many children Kim Jong Un and Ri Sol-ju have. Mourning. So we know that Ri Sol-ju is kept hidden most of the time, but she does get to see sunlight at times. One of her duties as the wife of Kim Jong Un is to occupy him on official business. Sure, once in a while that means she gets to check out an amusement park, but more often than not, her excursions are a grim affair. It's tradition to pay homage to deceased leaders, and as we know, venerating former supreme leaders is a huge deal in North Korea. So more often than not, when Ri Sol-ju does get to go out, it's in order to mourn former leaders. In addition to constantly having to support her husband, the current leader, she's constantly having to pay respects to her father-in-law and grandfather-in-law. Kim Jong Un loves to visit the resting places of his father, Kim Jong-il, and his grandfather, Kim Il-sung. These seem like rather grim places to bring your wife, especially when she so rarely gets to make public appearance. Apparently, Kim Jong Un has a very different definition of date night than most of the rest of the world. Fashion. Since we get to see so few images of Ri Sol-ju, whenever she is spotted, everything she says, does, and wears is painstakingly analyzed. Surprisingly, though rarely seen, she's become something of a fashion icon over the years. Her style has changed dramatically since she made her first public appearance, and many believe that there are some rules at play affecting this. She used to wear a personal brooch, instead of the traditional loyalist one. Ri Sol-ju would even occasionally dare to wear some pretty Western styles. There is no denying that her outfits are now lovely and fashionable. In fact, they often draw comparisons to royal fashion icon Kate Middleton. In 2018, Ri Sol-ju made a rare public appearance during a visit to China. The people in China couldn't get enough of Ri's outfit and even compared her style to that of their first lady, Peng Liyuan. Courtship. Even before they were married, there were a ton of rules that Ri Sol-ju had to follow, and she was the first spotted in the company of Kim Jong Un. Many people theorized that the two were dating or involved in some sort of romantic relationship. The rules of courtship for leaders in North Korea are incredibly strict, and to appear in public with a girlfriend or lover is absolutely unthinkable. That means that Ri Sol-ju would have been forced to stay completely secret until she and Kim Jong Un actually tied the knot and became officially man and wife. There's a long legacy of this, so it's not just a rule for Kim Jong Un and his wife. The first wife of Kim Il-sung was never mentioned in public while she lived. She was the mother of Kim Jong-il, who venerated her to the public after she had passed away. When it came to his own wives, Kim Jong-il never mentioned his first wife while she was alive. In fact, compared to the wives of Kim Jong-un's predecessors, Ri Sol-ju is practically a celebrity since we know she exists and have actually seen her a handful of times. Marriage. Like most things about their relationship, there is very little that we know about how Kim Jong-un and his wife met. One theory is that the two met when Kim was in school, and back then, Ri Sol-ju was named Hyun Sung-wol. Some people speculate that after a quick name change, Hyun Sung-wol became Ri Sol-ju, and the pair were able to marry. However, analyst Cheong Seong-chang has a different idea, and it's one that makes a ton of sense. It's no secret that Kim Jong-un's father, Kim Jong-il, ruled over North Korea and his children with an iron fist. When the leader suffered a stroke in 2008, he knew that he didn't have much time left on Earth, and he had a lot of work to do. Part of his plan was to arrange a marriage for his son, Kim Jong-un. It's believed that the first royal rule that Ri Sol-ju was forced to follow was marrying Kim Jong-un. It's believed that Ri and Kim were wed in 2009 and gave birth to their first child the following year. Press coverage. If you're used to Hollywood tabloids that painstakingly analyze any time two celebs so much as grab lunch together, the way North Korea covers Ri Sol-ju is baffling. Or really, it's the way that she isn't covered at all. It's up to Ri Sol-ju to stay out of the way of the cameras when she's traveling with her husband. Even when they were first married and people desperately wanted to know more about her, she was instructed to follow her husband's lead in front of the cameras. When the couple visited an amusement park in North Korea, cameras followed, but mainly seemed focused on Kim Jong-un. Ri appears in no pictures of her own, and when she's with her husband, she clearly has been instructed to appear in the background. At first, news outlets in North Korea referred to her with the title Comrade, which is pretty generic, but now instead of Comrade Ri Sol-ju, she's referred to as Respected First Lady Ri Sol-ju. Heir. Obviously, keeping power in the family is exceptionally important. In North Korea, that means a male heir is essential in order to pass down your legacy. It's rumored that Kim Jong-un's first two children with wife Ri Sol-ju are both girls. Obviously, this would be deemed unacceptable, and Ri Sol-ju would be expected to have children until she can produce at least a single suitable heir for her husband. This isn't just a family rule, but the result of North Korea's hereditary one-party ruling system. It's a strict interpretation of patriarchal tradition, and it means that Kim Jong-un must have a male heir no matter what. In 2010, many analysts believe that Kim Jong-un finally had a son due to Ri's period of absence from the public matching with those of her other pregnancies. However, that's never been 100% confirmed, and there are some who believe that if Kim Jong-un did finally have a male heir, it would have been announced. Of course, there's always the third possibility that Kim Jong-un did have a male heir, just not with his wife. It's acceptable for Kim Jong-un to have consorts, and his wife is forbidden from expressing displeasure about it. His own father had several, and it wouldn't be surprising if Kim Jong-un does as well. Wedding. Unlike when other high-profile members of society get married, don't expect to see wedding photos featuring Ri Sol-ju as a blushing bride. But there are a number of things that we do know about weddings in North Korea, and there are a lot of rules she would have to follow on her big day. For most people in North Korea, weddings are small, utilitarian events, and the new couple is expected to show up to work promptly the next day. However, for elite couples, the number of wedding guests and their gifts indicates your social status. So if Ri was hoping for an intimate affair, that's definitely not what she got. She would also have had to schedule her wedding on a date that isn't April 15th or February 16th. That's because those days are the birthdays of the late Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, and it's forbidden to be wed on them. After the ceremony, the bride and groom are required to visit a statue of Kim Il-sung, and the bride must donate her wedding flowers there. And even though their wedding was undoubtedly a fancy affair, they would have been expected to have the traditional North Korean wedding chickens. A live rooster and a hen are set on a ceremonial table and fed dates and chilies by wedding guests. The other woman. Besides his wife, there is a woman who is very important to Kim Jong-un and his regime. It's his sister, Kim Yo-jong, and the two are reportedly very close. They grew up isolated together and shared a lot of experiences with their family that most others can't relate to. She's an important political figure in North Korea, but since she's a woman, she really exists in order to support her brother, Kim Jong-un. Kim Yo-jong is an alternate member of the Political Bureau and the director of the Propaganda and Agitation Department of the World Party of Korea. Korea. Those are impressive titles, but she is mostly there to represent the value of hard work in the Kim family. Just like Kim Yo-jong has her own role to support her brother, so does Ri Sol-ju. Ri is supposed to make it seem like Kim Jong Un has a softer side when he's seen in the company of his feminine and elegant wife. But if he's all business, you'll see him in the company of his sister instead. What do you think about the rules that Ri Sol-ju has to follow? Tell us what you think in the comment section, and make sure that you're subscribed for more content from The Taco. Bye for now!